Hello YouTube, this is Tibbs from Tibbs Farm, and trying to go and make another video, trying to catch up on where we are with the goats. Still trying to make videos regular again, so bear with me. Last time I updated you guys, moved from this low area, brought the goats up to the corner up here. Well, since then they've moved to this spot. Don't worry about this brush right here. Then they moved to this spot over here, and now we're moving over here. It's not as voluminous as I would have liked. We are still inside the horseshoe. And I can give you guys a look at that stream here in a bit. I will say that I started to dig it out a little bit by shovel, and then that day we started getting heavy rain, and it went from being completely empty to there being water in it. So let's check out everything that the goats have done in the past couple weeks, and then let's look at the stream. So down here where Felix is where the goats were the last time I went and made the video. They moved from this spot right here to this spot up here. Don't mind the tools. Right along property line in all directions. From this spot they moved down to this spot right here. Turns out there's a really deep, compared to the rest of the land, really deep, little, I don't know, trying to make itself a pond whenever the stream overfills. So I'm just tossing a bunch of stuff in there, and whenever I get to digging out more of the stream, I'll dump it right on top of all of this brush and trees and limbs that I've been just tossing down in here. Hopefully I can go and build this up some, and so it doesn't flood out. Which also encompassed some of this area, and you can kind of see the color difference where it has flooded over and over and over. And this is what I dug out by hand, tossed up in here, and whenever it flooded, it actually kept that, for the most part, dry. So, yay. And yeah, that's all sand, all from the stream. Doesn't look like the stream is much sand, but once you get underneath that little layer of dark brown, it's nothing but sand. That's all it is, just sand, straight down. I got a foot down in this area from about right there all the way to about here, straight down, one shovel wide. It looks much wider than a shovel right now, but it's also making like a U shape, maybe a little bit of a V still, but not much. But yeah, I mean, it was easily a foot down, solid freaking sand. Nice clean looking sand too, like if somebody went and took every freaking sandbox in the low country and just threw it in here. You can actually see the property line too, where the water stops. I didn't dig up any of the neighbor's stream. I just started right at my property line, dug down, started working this way. Still need to clean up some of this over here. The rest of the stream I walked through and cleaned up most of it. And this area right here is actually where the goats were for the past week. And this stuff right here, obviously the goats do not like it, or it's not good for them, or it doesn't taste good, or I don't know. They didn't touch it. It's super thick. Took me forever to go and get just this little bit cut out with the lawnmower. And we're looking 6 feet wide, by 10 feet long right here. It took me 30 minutes to go and get that cleaned up. The mower goes through it, but it's slow. It just has to chew and chew and chew and chew. And the rest of it, kind of like that stuff back there, they don't touch that stuff either. Either it tastes bitter, or it touches their mouth funny, or it's not good for them. But they stay away from it, so I'll have to come hit up the mower, clear this stuff out. But all the grass, you can kind of see I got grass growing back here, and it's usually like, I don't know, taller than whatever this plant is. And they got rid of all the grass and all the other brush. They left this stuff. And that brings us to what their pen for the week's going to be. Not as big as I would prefer. It's still the same. 1 little net, 2 big nets. But I ended up taking up less room somehow than this past week. And right now they're getting their free range time right now, because I was able to set up the pen much faster this week than I usually do. And here's my stream. Yeah, there's a lot less water over here than where I already dug out. You can kind of see bits and pieces of where I have dug recently. Basically where there's water being collected, I dug out. And since it's sand, once the water comes in, it washes down, widens it out, makes it much shallower. Last week I actually had to come down here, and I joke, but I mowed my little stream bed, this area right here. It was nothing but sand, so I'm literally able to just walk on it. And I was like, well, let me try mowing it, clearing some of the stuff up, and it held the mower very well. This stuff right here, not so much. It's real goopy and super soft. But some more area that I dug out and tossed that sand up there, because there's another little water outcrop that goes that way. I'm trying to prevent it from eroding all that away. And this is where I had a lot of debris stuck in the stream, blocking it up. And that's what all this stuff is right here. And then toss some of it over there and some over there. And if the camera moves, sorry, got these yellow flies that are super aggressive, and if you let them stay on you for more than like 2 seconds, they start biting. Well, yeah, all of this was down in this right here. So I think I'm gonna end up doing the same thing with this as I am with that brush over in that hole, is fill it in whenever I start digging this out, dumping the mud and muck and everything else right on here, and hopefully this wood will actually give some sustenance to the muck, give it a little more foundation. Hopefully it doesn't wash out the that riverbank. But doing it by a shovel, not the most effective way, especially when you start hitting roots down under everything you can't see. And I really wish I had access to a backhoe or something And oh man, these flies are ridiculous. And here was another area that had a bunch of debris, and I actually fell in roughly that spot right there. It looks deceptively shallow, sunk up to my knee. So that's just muck right here that needs to get dug out. And then right around that corner right there is where the shallow pond is, or as I like to call it, the little pond. But this area is definitely starting to clear up. Let's see if I can get a good view. I need to get the goats shelter and get them in their nets, because it looks like we might have some weather rolling in. But it's crazy to think, a month and a half ago, all of this looked just like that. In fact, 2 months ago, from this spot right here, you were not able to see the stream at all. So, definitely clearing up land. And as I clear up, I do plan on cutting a bunch of these little trees out. Hopefully get some light down in here, and hopefully be able to do something with this, because for the last 8 years I've only ever thought of this as a swamp, and now saying that it might have actually been my fault that it was a swamp and not helping maintain the land and cleaning up the stream every so often. But oh well, as the old saying, oh, you know what, actually, let me turn, there we go. As the old saying goes, best time to plant a tree, 20 years ago. Next best time is today. Yeah, I can't go back and start cleaning up this land 8 years ago, but I can continue working with these goats and having them help me clean up this land. Maybe one day, instead of having just brush down here, I might actually have grasses growing, and maybe about, I don't know, plant some crops down here and grow some food. Or worst case, just grow grasses, maybe get some sheep in the future and move them through as a mixed flock or 2 separate flocks. A flurd, as I've heard some people call it. A flock and a herd. But I think that's going to be it for today. Sorry for being over 13 minutes long and a bunch of me probably just rambling. I still haven't got around to getting any editing software yet, so shame on me for not doing that. And definitely makes me think a lot more because I can't go back and just edit it. So, oh well. And as always, have a great day.